Hey there, welcome back to Torah Project. Um, I'm making a video about the calendar. It's about that time this year again, and everybody's getting all upset because these people won't celebrate the calendar according to its perfect way, and then this group over here is not doing the calendar because they're not submitting to the authority of the Jews or the rabbis or Hillel or whoever you want to call it. And this group over here is not doing it according to the Aviv. And, you know, uh, I hear all these kinds of things like, these weird things like authority, these weird things like, um, the sliver of the new moon, these things like, uh, uh, why aren't these people doing it according to the way that it's always been done, or according to Exodus 13 and the Aviv, and all these things. And I just want to say, let's put that down for a minute. Let's think about the things that we actually do to one another in the name of being obedient. We step all over one another so that we can be right in the name of obedience. And then we say, no, God's word is what he desires from us. He wants us to be obedient to his word above all else. But at what cost? At the cost of putting your shoe on somebody's neck because you want to seem more righteous towards every other person, or at the cost of hurting somebody's feelings, or maybe diminishing that individual according so that you can exalt yourself in the eyes of other people. Like, I just don't understand, guys. Like, none of us have this right. There's no way that we can fully grasp the ramifications of the calendar before Messiah comes. There's just no way. The Jews have been expelled from the land for 2,000 years. 2,000 years, think about that. I mean, we have a clean slate. We know nothing. And we think, Gentiles, we think that we've come into the Torah, we know a little bit of the understanding of Yehovah. And all of a sudden, now, we have all these different groups arguing amongst one another, dividing amongst one another, and for what? For what? All for the sake of the name, all for the sake of obedience. But the thing is in the sake of us trying to be obedient to God and his commands, whether you believe in Aviv or you believe in the Hillel, in the sake of whether you're in, because those are the two main groups, you're transgressing against God by hurting your brother, just because you want to be right. And it really does come down to that. It comes down to pride, and it comes down to arrogance, self-righteousness, all those things. And you know what it really does? It reveals how immature we are in the Torah, how small of a time we've actually been within the Torah, the understanding, or a little bit of understanding that we have in the Torah. Because if we were mature believers in Yeshua, if we were mature lovers in Yehovah and his Torah, mature lovers of his word, we wouldn't treat our brothers like that. In fact, I know a lot of people that partake in all the festivals. I've even heard of festivals starting on the full moon. There's people that want to start the festivals on the full moon, completely full, saying that that's the first of the month. Who cares? We can't keep it to its fullness. We're not in the land. There's no temple. There's no, Jerusalem is have you guys been there? There's high places all over the place in Jerusalem. That's not what our Father desires from that place. And when Yeshua returns, he's going to say the same thing that he did when he went into Jerusalem. You've turned my house of prayer into a den of thieves. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. It's we Why do we divide over such small things? And many of you disagreeing with me right now. What? The calendar is not a small thing. It kind of is right now. It really is. I understand that we're supposed to be obedient to God's word and really remember it and honor it. Especially the calendar. It kind of helps us dedicate our time to God. But the way that we're doing it now, we're just, man, I don't think it pleases the Lord. You know, I don't think it pleases his heart that his children are fighting over days. If you want to keep the festival on Hillel's calendar, do that. Just do it. But stop condemning other people and then telling them that they're sinning because they're not keeping it on your day. And if you want to keep it on the Aviv, keep it on the Aviv. Do that. Prepare your heart before Yehovah. He knows your way. He knows your heart. He knows your thoughts and the intents of your, and the intents of your action. Like, it's not hidden from him, guys. And neither is the way that you're treating everyone. It's crazy. Anyways, I wanted to put out this video because I really don't think that the feasts today are something that we should divide over and fight amongst ourselves over. We cannot keep the feasts, guys. We can remember them. We can acknowledge them. We can glory in Yehovah and his salvation for giving us Yeshua, for giving us the Passover lamb, for giving us the Feast of Unleavened Bread, first fruits, Shavuot. These things are amazing. They're wonderful. But for us to be treating like this, or treating one another like this, is shameful. In many groups, it's shameful. And all you guys want to do is establish your own smartness, establish your own righteousness, and show everybody else how they're wrong and you're right. None of this has anything to do with your love or gratefulness for the salvation that Yehovah has given us. Please, guys. I know we are so zealous for the word of Yehovah, for the Torah of Yehovah, but in your zealousness, remember, there are people that among us that are learning. There are people that are among us that do not know the things that we know. Let us be mature. Let us stand back and wait, for the people that have not received the Torah yet, and instruct them in loving kindness, in mercy, in compassion, waiting for the weak of the flock, and not trying ourselves to become leaders and teachers and all these people. Let us be content, in the love of Yehovah, in the salvation of Yehovah. Guys, I know many of you will disagree with me on this. I can't believe he said that you can't keep the feast. Come on. Stop straining out gnats and swallowing camels. You cannot, to its full extent, keep the feast of Yehovah. You can remember it today. You can acknowledge Yehovah. You can thank him for the things that he has given you, like this beautiful girl behind me. But you cannot keep the feast of Passover. There is no temple. There is no priesthood. There is no sacrifice of a lamb today. The glory of Yehovah is not in Jerusalem. Come on, let us be mature about these things. And let us love one another and provoke one another to love. Please, for the sake of his goodness, for the sake of his body, for the sake of his name. Let us be mature in the loving kindness that he has given us. Anyways, I'm going to be making more videos, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to give my opinion to a bunch of people that might listen. So anyways, shalom in Yeshua's name.